today was going to be about. Kim just asked me, do you want to come and talk about what you do? And I said, sure. Now I see the theme. Takes me a little while. My point for you today, I want to bust the myth that beauty is only skin deep. Beauty is much deeper than our skin. And we girls, no offense to you guys, maybe you do too, but I know we girls put a lot of energy, a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of money into our external beauty. Through the years, I've gotten all excited about the latest product, that promises to take 10 years off my face, or the next diet that's going to help me drop 20 pounds in the first week. And I've been there, bought it, done it. Only to get up in the morning and find out what was said earlier. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And by the time that you get to be my age, you need to gain some wisdom in life, or you're going to keep spinning your wheels. And I finally have come to a point where I realize that beauty, while I like being a girl, I like dressing it up, I like taking it out, beauty really is more than skin deep. And I'm glad to hear that. Actually, I really, by this age, and I'm 54, just in case you're curious, by this age, I really have decided and have discovered my new beauty method. I'm going to lie. And I'm gonna lie up, because I'm not gonna tell you that I'm 54, I'm gonna tell you that I'm 68. And I'm not gonna tell you my weight. I'm going to tell you my dress size, but I'm going to add 3, maybe 4 sizes, and then maybe you'll look at me as a senior citizen and you'll say, wow, you look pretty good. So that's my new beauty secret, and I don't have a patent on that, so you feel free to use that. But seriously, I really do want to talk to you today about our beauty, and not our external beauty, but our internal beauty, because that really is where it all starts. And this may come as a surprise to you, but our true beauty, our inner beauty, it starts in our mind. It starts in the way that we think, the way that we think about ourselves, the way that we think about life, the way that we think about others, the way that we think about God. Our true beauty starts here. And then, once we kind of have a belief system formulated here, that begins to trickle down into our heart, and then out of our heart, we engage and do life. And so our true beauty really does begin here. And that's the problem. Our true beauty begins with the way we think. Our thinking, our belief system begins to formulate right after we're born. Some say even before, depending on your environment and stuff, but certainly once you were born, from that moment forward, your mind, the way you think, the way you believe is beginning to be established. Who is in your life when you're growing up? Who is not in your life when you're growing up? Your experiences, the things that you're told, the things that you don't get to experience, the things that you never hear. All of those things are molding and shaping the way that you believe. And as we grow older and as we become our own person, we then begin adding to that belief system. The choices that we make, the people that we hang out with, the things that we choose to allow into our lives or not allow into our lives, all of those things formulate our belief system. And then you add to that things that are beyond our control. We do not have control over the circumstances that come down through life. We don't have control over the choices of others that impact our life. And so all throughout our lives, we are building on this belief system. And by the time you get to be my age, trust me, you begin to realize that you have a pretty faulty belief system. There are twists on lies, distorted truth, and sometimes just blatant lies. And that belief system is the foundation that we build our lives on. And then we wonder, why is my life such a mess? Why am I not happy? It's because of our belief system. And those lies, as I said earlier, begin to filter down into our heart. And I know that throughout my life, the worse I was doing on the inside, the more that I would do on the outside. You could always tell if I was in a bad season of life because my hair, my makeup, it would be like big. And then I began to realize that that's not where it's at. Hiding it is not where it's at. And as it seeps down into our hearts, it begins to seep out into our lives. And the part of us that's not so pretty on the inside begins to become exposed. And that really rocks our world. And much of the time, unfortunately, our belief system and our inner beauty, or lack thereof, begin to spill over into the lives of those that we care about the most. Those are usually the ones that suffer the most because of our internal belief system. Now, how do I know all of this? Because I've lived it, been there, done that. My belief system was founded from as far back as I can remember, because much of my childhood I was experiencing sexual abuse by my grandfather. And so that began to lay a very faulty belief system about myself and about life and just about everything. And then as I grew up, that belief system, that faulty, lie-twisted belief system, sent me down a path of self-destruction. When I was 22, life circumstances started smacking me in the face, hot and heavy. When I was 22, my mother was 42 at the time. She died in a car accident. In my early years of marriage, my husband and I suffered through 2 miscarriages and began a process of loss. Our son, Nathan, went through a kidney transplant and had complications on the backside of that surgery, ended up having a massive heart attack and dying at the age of 6. I'm a breast cancer survivor, double mastectomy, chemo, the whole bit, and on and on and on it goes. And you can look at me, but I'm no different than you are. We could each take a turn at the mic, and you guys could tell me some of the things that you have experienced that have shaped and molded your belief system and impacted your heart and affects the way that you do life. Every single one of us in this room could tell those stories. But this is where we may differ. I've chosen for that not to be the end of my story. That is not going to be what defines me. And so, what do? Absolutely, we take advantage of all this stuff in this room and feel good about ourselves. But you have got to come to a place where you realize that you need to take the mask off and you need to get up close, real, and personal, first and foremost with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself that something is just not quite right on the inside. Or if you're like me, something just flat out ain't right. It's broken and I need to get it fixed because it was impacting every single area of my life. So we have to get real with ourselves, and sometimes we are able within ourselves and with a little elbow grease and some hard work, we're able within ourselves to turn that thing around, to rewrite our belief system, to get our heart on track, and to then begin to live the life that we were created to live. But sometimes we need some help. And let's just say I needed a lot of help. And so I had a lot of people, a lot of counselors, a lot of people that invested in me and helped me through mine, which is why I do what I do. I am the director of Isaiah 61 Ministries. 20 years prior, I did pastoral counseling on staff of our church. And God said it's time for you to take it out into the community. And so January of this year, I opened up a nonprofit counseling office in Waynesboro, just off of 250. And in and through Isaiah 61, I come alongside people and help them get their head on straight, get their heart healed, so that they can then be the person that they're created to be. And because of donations of businesses and churches and people, I'm able to offer that free of charge, which I'm very excited to be able to do. We don't even, somebody said, well, certainly you have a suggested donation. We don't even have a suggested donation. You come and you get what you need in order to be the person that you were created to be. And let me just give you a little preview to some of the things that you can have as part of this internal beauty. You can have healing for your broken heart. You can have freedom for whatever bondages you may find yourself in. You can have comfort for the hurts and the pains and the losses in your life. And one of the best parts in kind of our motto, you can have beauty for the ashes in your life. All free of charge if you want it. And that's the whole key. Do you want it? If you can do it on your own, by all means do it. If you need help, I'd love to talk to you about how I or some of the people that are volunteering in our office, how they can come alongside you and help you find your real inner beauty so that you can live the life that you were created to live. As part of my little gift to you, 3 of you have a business card in front of you, and on the back of it you have a red smiley face. If you bring that to me, I will give you a copy of the book that I put together out of my journals through the life and death and the aftermath of our son Nathan, and that is yours as my gift to you. I now have the honor of being able to pray and bless our food, and when we, Kim is going to come and give us the directions on how we're going to be dismissed. Or it gets to work. Okay. She says through this door, and I guess we'll all just be polite and kind and